Back with another video. And this one's gonna be a doozy. I'm really gonna go there with this one. All right, so so pay attention, um, because what I'm about to give you is that real hip hop. Now people don't, they don't know, whatever. I'm not arguing with y'all anymore. I'm done. I'm done. Actually, I haven't been arguing with y'all. I get it. Like P Diddy entertains you, but that's not hip hop. Never. You know what I mean? He was a backup dancer. Like that's the part that's funny. Like the backup dancer became the CEO, Mongol or whatever, and that's what they wanted. They created him to create to be the chaos that is today. So they pushed him to be the vote or die guy, and that's how Barack Obama was able to become the president of the United States. But I'm not. Listen, that's the truth. That's what happened. All right, cool. Now it's 2020. What is it? 25, right? And we hip hop won, right? When Kendrick was at the Super Bowl in front of Donald Trump, we won, right? But we're still trying to get back to that. Not like us, the lyrics and everything. But I have to go back in time to help y'all understand true hip hop lyrics. So when my son was a baby, we started off with I came through the door, said it before, never let the mic magnetize me no more. It's biting me, fighting me, inviting me to rhyme. Can't hold it back, looking for the line, taking off my coat, clearing my throat. The rhymes will be kicking until I hit my last note, right? There is a nice basic simple rhyme, and he was able to say it just like that when he was 6 years old. Thank you, Daddy, right? It was the next part when he was in front of his, grandfather and shout out to Il Product, his godfather, right? That when they was like, okay, that was cute, and I was like, yo, y'all missed it, because right after he said that, he came with the next bar, which is, my mind remains refined with all kinds of ideas and self-esteem to make it seem that my thought took years to build. Like, shout out. That's why Rakim is the GOAT. He's the one that started off with the knowledge of beginning till I finish this song, cause the rhyme gets rougher as the rhyme goes on. Sweat as you step about to get hype, or should you just listen to the man on the mic? You're physically here with me, but how could you tell if it's meant to be hip hop if you're not mentally as well? Yes, Rakim is the one that said, give me 7 MCs, put them in a line. Give me 7 more rappers who think they can rhyme. It's going to take 7 more before I go for mine. Now that's 21 MCs ate up at the same time. He's the mathematician. That's why we give him the GOAT status. Yes, I'm going to get to KRS One. But I have KRS One number 5, right? Because I'm going to start the show off. If I was to, be the producer, whatever. Like if I was able to get the cash to hold a hip hop, what is that called again? When it was out in the park and just everybody came out there back in the Woodstock, right? If I was to hold a hip hop Woodstock, I was Rakim. You go on first. Number 2, Big Daddy Kane, Cool G Rap. Who else can y'all bring from the Juice Crew? Y'all number 2, right? Number 3, EPMD. What y'all doing? Y'all number 3, right? Get EPMD there. Like EPMD might go. Can we get Reggie Noble? Go ahead. Y'all can have Reggie Noble. Oh, y'all found K Solo. Ah, that's even dope. Here y'all go. Do it, right? Y'all number 3. Number 4 is Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick the Ruler. Right now, LL Cool J wants to, because he was Def Jam. I went Slick Rick all to myself. Like, all right, L. Listen, you invited, but y'all more like Def Jam Zero. Y'all the goats. I don't knock LL from being the true goat, but he's the origin. He's the 0 point. 0 is the origin. So I say Def Row Zero. Def Jam Zero. So that's Run DMC, even though Run DMC's not Def Jam. We get all the story. Sugar Hill Gang isn't Def Jam. We get that. They actually Sugar Hill. We get all that. Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. That's definitely they zero. They are the origin. They are the originals, right? And even what's his name? The father. Who they calling the father now? Not Bambada, but Bambada. Bambada still, you know what I mean. But Bambada got in trouble with the LGBTQIA for, you know what I mean. We all know that, and that's why we kind of delineated a little bit from Boom Bambada, because now every time we bring up Bambada, it's like, well, you know, he's like now he's a part of the whole .pdf file, A minor, and that's what we're speaking against. That's why it gets frustrating, because June was actually the Fatherhood of God and Brotherhood of Man month. But the people that want to destroy our culture wants to still call it Pride Month, when we stopped saying I'm black and I'm proud years ago. But now it's I'm Mexican and I'm proud. And it's like, all right, go to Mexico and be proud. Leave us alone. We're foundational black Americas. We be one. We've been here since day zero, the origin. We are the originators of this land. Stop trying to get us to get into your fight, because you got a bunch of Venezuelans waving a Mexican flag, not wanting to get deported back to wherever they want to go, right? There it is. There it is. So, but I'm here to give y'all true hip hop, and I gave y'all a little bit of Rakim, but right now I'm gonna give y'all something real special. I'm gonna give y'all, because you know that's where my new thing is, the lyrics and everything. Oh, and you know I'd like to do the gameplay too. Yeah, check the game that I got for y'all today. I'm on the Wii U, of course, and you see that right there, right? Can I light it from here? I can't light it from there. I gotta light it from here. All right, so y'all know what that is, right? There it is. What do you know about Super Smash Brothers for the Wii U? Right? This is why I'd be like, yeah, I agree. The Nintendo Switch 1 is the greatest system of all time, because all they got to do is drop the price and it'll outsell the PlayStation 2. Easy. It's not hard. But the fact that they talking about Nintendo's talking about raising the price on it, right? And the consumers are going crazy about it. But that's not. We'll get to there too. We're gonna talk about economics and why it's bogus that Nintendo they're trying to raise the price on the Switch 1 and the Switch 2 in order to like we can't afford it already. So that's why I'll just play my Wii U. I still got my Wii U that I paid full price for years after it came out. But back when I was, all right, I'm getting. All right, hold on. I'm doing too much. First, let me turn down the volume here on this, right? Because that's my, what's the name is too loud, and my TV here is too loud. Because here's what we like to do first, right? Let's see here. Let's get this. So I got. You know, I like to go over the lyrics, so we're going to go over the lyrics real quick, okay? Here we go. Y'all ready for this? Lyrics of the day. Lyrics of the day. Once upon a time, not long ago, when people... Y'all heard that, right? Yeah, we taking it there. Once upon a time, not long ago. We talking about Slick Rick today, all right? Slick Rick got a new album out, and we might as well go to the original song. So are y'all ready for this right now? That's how you start off a quote-unquote fairy tale, right? Like Star Wars happened a long, long time ago in a galaxy far away. That's how we know it's a fantasy science, right? Whereas Star Trek is happening tomorrow. Like Elon Musk is about to invent a warp drive, and we can travel, and then what is it? Spock and them want to come and say, you know, now they can break the Prime Directive and we can join the Federation or whatever. We can create the Federation, right? Like that's the future. That's the science fiction, right? Science fiction is the future. Science fantasy is the past. So once upon a time, not long ago, right? where people wore pajamas and lived life slow.
Where laws were stern and justice stood.
Where laws were stern and justice stood.
And people were behaving like they ought to good.
And people were behaving like they ought to good.
There lived a little boy who was misled.
There lived a little boy who was misled
By another little boy, and this is what he said.
by another little boy, and this is what he said.
Me and you tonight, we're gonna make some cash.
Me and you tonight, we're gonna make some cash.
Robbing old folks and making a dash.
Robbing old folks and robbing. Slow down. I'm trying to cut it up a little bit, right? Because that's what I would do if I was the DJ, so that I don't get copyright claimed, right? Robbing old folks, and making the dash. Are y'all understand where this story is coming from? All right.
They did the job, money came with ease.
They did the job, money came with ease. They started robbing old folks and making the dash. You know this is going to turn out to be a good story in the end, right? Okay. That's the beauty of hip hop. He's telling a story about robbing and stealing oil and what happens when you do dumb things like that, right?
But one couldn't stop, it's like he had a disease.
But one couldn't stop. It's like he had a disease.
He robbed another and another and a sister and a brother.
Robbed another and a sister and a brother. Robbed another sister and a brother.
Tried to rob a man who was a DD cover.
Tried to rob a man who was a DD cover undercover. Tried to rob a undercover. Right? I'm cutting it up for y'all. You know what I mean? It's like these are pretty basic lyrics, but it's a story of genius and beauty. Like, this is why Slick Rick is the storyteller. But he's telling you the truth. You shouldn't do these things, right? That's the beauty of it.
The cop grabbed his arm, he started acting. The cop grabbed his arm, he started acting erratic. Keep still, boy, no need for static. Punched him in his. The cop grabbed his arm, he started acting erratic.
Y'all peep that, right? The cop grabbed his arm, started acting erratic. Keep still, boy, no need for static.
Punched him in his belly and he gave him a slap. But little did he know the little boy was strapped.
Punched him in the belly and he gave him punched him in the belly and he gave him a slap. But little did he know the little kid was strapped.
The kid pulled out a gun, he said,
"Why you shoot me?"
The barrel said straight for the cop's kidney. The cop got...
He had a barrel aimed at the cop's kidney. Right? He was about to shoot the cop. The cop got scared. Now he's figure all the years if I pull this trigger. Right? Y'all know this song? Are y'all familiar with this? Right? Do I gotta go through all these lyrics, right? Or y'all singing along, like telling me to stop stopping it, right? Because this is one of the greatest songs of hip hop of all time, isn't it? Or is it not? Or y'all just want to see me play a little Smash Brothers, right? How much time I put in? 13 minutes. I'm running out of time. I do got one more little show. And y'all know, man, I ain't really gonna play Smash. And I just went to show in the background the Smash Brothers or whatever. So this is the original Smash Brothers on the Wii, not the original, but the Wii U version. And then they made Smash Brothers on the Switch called, what is that? The Ultimate version of this. So I did notice that there's some characters that's on here that's not necessarily on the Switch version. I was kind of on the my son has the Ultimate version, and we haven't played that at all, right? So we still got to figure out what games we want to play for y'all, and I'm hoping tomorrow we'll be able to play some games for y'all and share it. We'll figure it out. It'll be tomorrow's the 4th of July. Happy 4th of July to everybody. And this is July 3rd, and I'm looking at 3:16 right now, so I'll get this up about 4 o'clock. Let's try to finish this story real quick.
So he cold dashed and ran around the block, cop radios into another lady cop. He ran by a tree, there he saw the...
Right? He radioed into another lady cop. A lot of lady cops out there today, right? Yeah, they got to be careful too. See, on Memorial Day, all the Foundation of Black Americans went out in Philadelphia, right? They all went out to Lemon Hill, which is a park that we go out to. Like, my dad used to do a, like they old school Lemon Hill. And not in August, I think we used to do a Lemon Hill family reunion kind of, but it was all the neighborhood people from the baby boomers era, and you know what I mean. A lot of them are passed on, rest in peace. And we used to come out there and have a little picnic and stuff right there. It's right next to the zoo, and so they was out there on this past Memorial Day, and some illegals, right? And it's like you don't know if they were from out there illegals or not. They were illegals, right? Because they was shooting people, and it was like 4 or 5 of them, right? Now, yeah, I'm going to. It's black people now. It's no longer people of color, right? It's now the foundation of Black Americans is supposed to take the brunt of 4 people or 3 or 4, how many it was, shooting and killing 3 or 4 people and causing a chaos, and it's black on black crime now. But you know, what I mean, all this going on with stop them, taking out the Mexicans, and they not really Mexicans. They Venezuelans, they Brazilians, they Haitians. There's people all over the world that they even Jamaicans. Y'all got to go back home because y'all are doing illegal stuff here, and it's like now they protesters are the us. And see, I got to start getting political. My bad. Let me get back. Let me keep going. He ran by a tree and then he saw the sister, right? So he saw the sister. Now she could be white or black. We don't know. But
He ran by a tree, there he saw the sister. Shot for the head, he shot back, but he missed her. Looked
right, shot for the head. Whoa, that was crazy, yo. Shot for the head. He shot back, but he missed her. Cool C is on death row. He's from Philadelphia. He's a Philadelphia rapper. Cool C and Steady B is the notorious ones because they tried to rob a bank and they killed a female cop back in the 90s. Many people don't know that story. Steady B was one of the, number 1 rappers. This is early 90s too, right? And one is attempted murder, the other one's for murder, and Cool C has been, and Cool C, he has a, his song, ooh, you got it, The Glamorous Life is one of the, greatest songs of all time. That's up there with this song, actually, to be honest. Like, The Glamorous Life is up there with this track. But let's get back to this, because that's corny that, you're shooting at cops and they shooting back. It was a female cop versus a kid that named Ty, right? So,
Looked around good and from expectations, he decided he hit for the subway stations, but she was coming and he made a left. He was running top speed till he was out of.
All right, so I'm kind of flowing through it because y'all getting, he's telling the story of him running and shooting at the cops and, you know what I mean, and then knocking old men down and swore he killed them type thing, you know what I mean?
Knocked an old man down and swore he killed him. Then he made his move to an abandoned building.
Right, he's running around and trying to run, like, and they got it, and the video is cute because it's on some Keystone Cops, kind of a, old back in the days before the 60s type thing. Like, this has been going on for a long time of cops, chasing and shooting and trying to, kids that's robbing and stealing old folks and all kinds of dumb stuff like that. I'm a flow through it because I wanted to really share some Detroit HP and he just going on and on like rat-a-tat-tat-tat and all the cops scattered. Grabbed a pregnant lady and pulled out the automatic. This story is crazy, right? Told the cops back off or honey here is dead. Ew, that's sad, right?
They told the cops, back off, or honey here's dead.
Deep in his heart, he knew he was wrong, so he's Yup, he dropped his gun, and so went the glory. And this is the way I can end the story. He was only 17 in the madman's dream. In the madman's dream, the cops dropped the kid, still hear him scream. Cops can't hear him scream. Right? Now, on that battle with Karis One and not Rakim and Big Daddy Kane, he ended it. Karis One ended it with that bar right there. Cop shot the kid, still here. That was dope. The way he flipped it a little bit to include Slick Rick in the quote unquote battle, because whose side would Slick Rick be on if it was Big Daddy Kane and Rock and versus Big Daddy Kane versus Karis One? Who like they roll together. So like I went to a show and it was them. It was Big Daddy Kane, Slick Rick. They've been rolling together doing shows together for decades. So whose side would he have been on in that battle? And for Karis One to add that little part, it was check it out. Go check out that versus battle, and I might try to share a little bit of it one day. And the way Karis One ended it, including Slick Rick, was really dope, right?
The cop shot the kid, I still hear him scream.
This ain't funny, so don't you dare laugh. Just about the wrong path, straight and now, or your soul gets cast. Good night. Knock him out the box, Rick. Knock him out, Rick. Knock him out the box, Rick. I know a lot of people didn't understand that right there, but it is like a gangster movie story, and and it didn't end well. But that's the moral to the story. If you do the crime, you're gonna do the time or get murdered trying to get away. Welcome back to where I'm trying to give a little knowledge, wisdom, and understanding about the culture that I grew up with. That song came back in 1988 or so, and so that was like the high school jam back in the day. And I thank Slick Rick and them for making that track, and Def Jam. That was one of the first #1 Def Jam albums right there. It's The Great Adventures of Slick Rick, and a lot of morality, a lot of even though it's like gangster, quote unquote, a lot of morality, a lot of ethics, virtues, and principles, and that's what we're working towards, right? The Ten Commandments. Y'all know how I do: love God, respect law, seek wisdom, Sabbath day, and fatherhood and mother. So we're going to try to get back to this fatherhood of God, brotherhood of man, and stop all this killing and dumb stuff. But right now we're defunded. The fatherhood is defunded, so hit that like button, subscribe, and share. Let's see here. Can I? Oh, I got an error code, huh? Oh, that's corny. So maybe I can reboot. We'll figure it out. But anyway, that's me going to the next segment. So the next segment is, and then that's the problem with the WiiU is everything's on a thumb drive, and that thumb drive might be, hopefully I can fix it or whatever. It might be a little corrupted. I think because of Pikmin 3's on there, it was acting corrupted with Pikmin 3 on there. So we'll figure that out. And that's also a negative towards having what's the name devices. So we'll figure it out. And come on, I did that, right? So I'll figure this out, and then I'm going to share a little bit of Detroit HD TV, because he's going to talk a little bit about his background, and I'm just going to let him do the talking, and then I'll sum it up, and that'll be my 30-minute show. It's a good 5-minute little broadcast that he shared the other day, and my prayers and everything go out to him and his family. And what's actually going on out here in these streets is what he's going to touch on, and you know what I mean. So it's serious out here. Like, people are really going through it, socially, economically, spiritually, and he just wants to share a little bit of what he's been going through and what he's trying to do, and I feel obligated to share it, and see if we can make this black media, because that's what we're trying to be a part of, grow. My aspect is, of course, epistemology and teaching hip hop. I hope that I learned a little bit of something from that Slick Rick story that I shared today, real quick. And so I'm gonna click right over it and try to figure out how to fix this in the meantime. And hopefully I'll be back with a little bit of gameplay, and I'll be out. Okay. So give me 2 seconds to mute my mic and hit the play button.
All right, YouTube, this Detroit's HPTV coming to you out of Detroit, back with another video. I was telling my subscribers earlier today when I made a video about how people were attacking me because of my political views. And the way they was attacking me was strange because these were people I called my friends. Now, if you don't know, I've been homeless for almost a year. Yeah, vlogging while homeless. But all praise due to God, I still have a truck, so I can live in my truck. Without my truck, I guess I'd be on the street. So can nobody tell my story better than me? But the situation is as such is I still have a political point of view. I still do. I went to school for political science, and of course, my life had to take a drastic turn for me to be homeless and living in my vehicle. But that's neither here nor there. It didn't change the aspects of my mentality and the knowledge that I've learned. And I'm not a red pill guy that's misogynist and anti-woman, but they have points that are relevant. I wouldn't be homeless if I had not have given up my place to move in with a woman I thought cared about me. But that wasn't so. So when it came time to actually deal with things and build, she wasn't ready to build. I built a whole studio with my hands. I bought lights, I bought cameras, backdrops to vlog. But when things weren't going her way, of course, I had to go. But that comes with the territory. I'm an old enough man to understand where I went wrong and to understand the nature of things, especially domestic. So, as always, I'm going to give advice to men because men don't get support. Men don't get help that women get. So, if you move in with a woman, you can be homeless if you give up your place and move in because she's going to do what's in her best interest to be tied to government assistance and providing for her babies. And sad to say, most relationships with a lot of women are transitory. If they couldn't make relationships work with men they had children by, don't expect them to make no relationship work with you. You don't have any real ties. So that landed me in my situation. Oh, and it's the state as well. The Salvation Army, I went to the Salvation Army because I was on the Section 8 list waiting, like a lot of Americans. This is why I speak my political analysis from a real perspective. But you know what the Salvation Army did? They made me work 40 hours for free while indoctrinating me in a new form of Christian doctrine that they have on their own, which is really a new form of slavery. So I had to leave there to continue blogging. So now it's a trial for me just to be able to make content for my supporters and my base. But what made me make this video, because I got a home girl that was so mad at me for having conservative views that she went off and down rated me like, oh, you is conservative and you support Trump, but you homeless and you living in your truck. People laughing at you. You a joke. Do I look like a joke? And if you laughing, what's funny about it? What's funny about a man on the verge of losing everything and still have to get up every morning and try to make content because that's what he do? Is that funny? For real? But I guess this individual was so Trump deranged that she identified me as being Donald Trump. That's how much they hate the man. They hate anybody who will speak positive against something the man is doing. And you may ask, well, how can you be homeless and how can you be going through what you're going through and still support the conservative perspective? Because I look to the future, and liberalism will destroy our people ultimately. Liberalism will, because liberalism destroys the nuclear family. It keeps the man in one position. He's either an earner or he's discarded because there's no real help for him. Now, let me tell you about the Salvation Army, too. The Salvation Army takes people who are in desperation, needing help, under the guise of Christian values. Now, this is in Detroit. I don't know how they do it in other cities, but in Detroit, they admit you and offer to give you help, but then immediately start making you work 40 hours a week for free, limiting your ability to get housing or a real job because they constantly threaten you with putting you out, and they already know you don't have nowhere to go. So me personally, I chose to go back to my truck and to continue blogging and vlogging and dispensing information because I do have education in political science. So I'm doing what I went to school to do. And to be attacked by people who once claimed to love me is devastating. You know, but giving up is not an option. I'll never give up. If you out there and you going through something, never consider giving up. It may cross your mind, but don't do it. Don't do it. Keep using your voice. Keep using what God gave you to sustain yourself. And I'm going through major trials. I mean, even the trolls who don't know me attack me. They can't even imagine what it's like being homeless in Detroit with these enemies, with these liberal idiots, with their debauchery and their nefariousness. And if you have a word that contradicts that, you automatically become the enemy.
There it is, there it is, there it is, there it is, right? Yeah, prayers going out to you, DeAndre. Like you know what I mean? Find myself bankrupt, right? Jobless, homeless, right? And it's, don't talk about it because we're all going through it. And it's like, no. You got to talk about it because, those that understood what the Democratic Party was going to do, like we told you that they were going to just open up the floodgates. Like he was telling us that, and it was like, yo, that's not a good idea, right? They told us that they're going to, right? They're going to outnumber you now, and now you're going to have to answer to them. Like he went before the Black Caucus and said, America is doomed. The tape is out there on what Biden did, right? So we can't blame Biden. Like, no. Yes, you can blame Biden, right? Blame the Democrats because that's what they wanted. That's what they still want. Of course, they're going to lie and, now that Trump done secured the border now, but now we're going to, immigrate through legal means, quote unquote, right? But we haven't addressed the issue of what was already decimating the foundational black Americans is that over 70% of our children are growing up in single parented homes, and they're mostly mothers. Right? So now it's a mother with a bunch of babies, and they want other men to, like he did, to go move in and help them out or whatever, but be there, but don't be there, right? And it's like, dude, that's not, wasn't right. But DeAndre gave his, and I'm gonna share a link to. He only had maybe like 5 minutes, 4 minutes left on that video. I was scared of a commercial, and I really only wanted to share 2 minutes, but I feel as though his story has to be told because I've been sharing him, and he does have, like he said, I can hear it in his description that he has a political understanding. He has, he went to school, or he said he went to school for political science. So I hear it and understand that, and I understand the history of the different political parties. That's what I teach my son. We go over the Declaration of Independence together. We go over the Bill of Rights together. He knows what the fifth is. Your right to. I plead the fifth. You have the right to remain silent. Right. That means if you're guilty, right, you don't have to say anything. But we already went the first 5. If you live in life, if you befriend, marry, if you are befriend, marry, what else we got there? See, I don't have because I'm a little upset because I have to say it the ignorant way of do not kill, do not commit adultery. Like I shouldn't have to say it the ignorant way. Like if she's married, if she has 3 kids, like that's adultery, right? It's no. Those baby daddies are supposed to help her. They're supposed to have a right. If she got 3 different baby daddies, she's supposed to be good, right? Now you want to ask other men in the community that's not. That's why Mr. C and Sergeant Willie Peters going through it because they don't have kids, and it's like I don't want a woman with kids. I want you know what I mean? I want a 30-year-old or whatever with no kids and ready to make that step and still have, able to have children with, right? Because they can have children or whatever, right? So, for myself, I'm good. I'm gonna figure it out, and life is good. But hit the like button, subscribe, and share. I'll be back with some more Smash Brothers, but I'll probably be playing the other Smash Brothers, playing the games and stuff. I just noticed here that I don't think, like, is Lucario in it? I think he is in there, but I don't think Charizard is one of the characters on the Ultimate version. I think you can only play him on the side. These are some things I just noticed. Is Mewtwo on there? Is Mewtwo playable? I'm not sure. I gotta ask my son tomorrow. I'm like, is these people playable? Because I noticed there's a couple on here that I don't think is playable on the Ultimate version. Of course, we don't have the Sephiroths and all that other stuff on here, but I might play a little bit of this off screen and enjoy and see how well it works because it is running off of a memory stick, and I might have to put it back on the internal, and hopefully it doesn't act up from doing that, But just some of the quirks that you got to go through when trying to get your Wii U to still work how you want it to work without jailbreaking. So like, there we go. Like Bayonetta, I don't think she's on the Ultimate version. I got to double check. I ask my son tomorrow. Is some of these people on there? But that's it. I'm done. I didn't do the last befriend, marry, give, receive, true, false, and compassion, peace, and happiness. Now, number 9, true, false. That's the red pill. That's one of the things he mentions. Like as soon as women hear that you're red pill, and it's like, oh, you're a women hater. No. The red pill simply means the truth. All right. The blue pill is, you know what I mean. You willing to live that lie of, happiness forever, right? But if she's you know, like, he's not providing. He's a bum and all that, and I don't trust him. Like, it's just over. Like, you can't, right? You can't build with that. Like shout out to is it Karen him? Because she's the one that gave me the. I'm trying to do these things off of memory. Either they're going to, either people are going to hold you down, or people are going to hold you down. Know the difference, right? Now you hear that, and it's like, well, that doesn't make any sense. That's how computers, quote unquote, artificial intelligence thinks. It doesn't see the difference between a person holding you down and a person holding you down. This has been another brief moment in time from Volothan Modulus Tautology, giving you that real hip-hop, not that fake stuff. That knowledge, wisdom, and understanding help you achieve freedom, justice, and equality, right? Where we believe in loving God, respecting the Lord, and seeking wisdom. That's one God, our Father, art of time, hip-hop life, one love, right? As God is love, hip-hop is life, time is holy. Money, it's nothing more than that fourth dimensional illusion that really doesn't exist. Like that gold chain that you snatching from another person, right? Because whether you want to measure it using macro or microeconomics, socioeconomics is supposed to be the art of making the most out of life. And like I said, life is supposed to be precious, like an intelligent movement that we have together, creating a community, consciousness, and culture called hip hop.